Okay, Ian, well, this is probably a really terrible video quality wise, but I really thought I should just put something together to show you the results of lots of head scratching, but it does actually work. So what we've got here, if you can see this, attached to the Model 1 is a expansion board. It's the completely stock 16K Model 1, level 2, no mods there. So the board connects to the expansion connector. On here we've got a few things. We've got 4 buffer chips here, which just buffer the interface, seeing there's no buffering internal into the keyboard. We've got a 32K static RAM, so it basically upgrades the memory on the 16K Model 1 to 32K. We've got a 2K EEPROM in here, which sits in the empty memory address starting from 3000 hex. On the System 80 Blue Label they actually used that for some extra ROM, and it's usable, so may as well have it there. We've got a GAL here that does all the decoding. It's just a slightly bigger version than the one that's on the FreHD, but the same basic idea. And then sitting next to that we've got a little PIC microcontroller, and what that does is that pretends, as far as the TRS-80 is concerned when it boots, to be a floppy disk controller, and it feeds it a boot sector. So when the Model 1 starts, what it does is it reads 256 bytes from the floppy disk controller, which would normally come off the boot sector on the disk, and then that then goes off and loads other things. So what we've done here is we've convinced this little microcontroller to feed the TRS-80 with 256 bytes that actually go on and load the FreHD bootloader. And then unfortunately it makes a real ugliness of my board. I had to stick one other little AND gate on here because both the FreHD and the PIC want to play with the wait signal back to the TRS-80 to say, hold it, I'm busy, let me get back to you. And so we have to AND the results together. Anyway, attached to that is a FreHD, fairly standard board there. And what I've done is I've put on here the Model 1 autoboot files off your website. So if we come around, here's our Model 1 as we see. If we power it up, hopefully this will appear okay. We see our standard boot screen, and then it goes into the FreHD sign-on. And it does that because the PIC on the board here has given it a little bootloader that then goes and loads the next thing. So we can then go and select our operating system, in this case UDOS 80, and actually this has got the 214 firmware, so it does take 2 attempts sometimes, and there we go. Just like a real TRS-80. As far as the TRS-80 is concerned, it runs fine. One thing you got to watch out for is you really don't want to be trying to access the floppy drives, because that will certainly cause you some problems. If we hit reset, just like a disk system, reloads the boot sector, and we're back to the FreHD. So we can go up and we can select a different operating system like LDOS that's here, and off we go. So yeah, very cool. Seems to work quite well. An interesting option for somebody who might want to run a completely stock Model 1 without modifying the keyboard, without doing memory internally or anything like that. So really happy. Hope you find it interesting, and thanks for watching.